Hello, my crafty friends. Today I'm sharing my first post with Karen Burniston's new release that will be shipping soon. I'll have the details for all of that in the description below, as well as on my blog post, and my coordinating blog post, which is also linked below, will have a full supply list if you have any questions about something I've used. So I made a slimline card. No surprise there. I'm loving slimline cards. This one is a little wider. I did make it 4 inches across, but it's still 8.5 inches tall. I wanted the extra width for the inside, which I'll show you in just a minute. So part of the new release is this pattern plate die, which is, this one is called Pattern Plate Fronds, and I'm just loving it. So you can see it has the frame all around the outside, and it is perfectly sized to fit the front of an A2 card. So it goes right, it's 4.25 by 5.5. Because this was a shorter than 4.25, I just snipped off the excess. Now I didn't want it to be the feature of the card. I wanted it more just to be kind of the idea of tropical. So I cut it from green patterned paper. I adhered it. I cut it twice. So here's one, and then I partially cut a second one and used the pattern paper strip to hide the seam. I attached it to blue patterned paper. So there's not a lot of contrast, but I kind of liked the look. And then I used dye inks and a water brush and just randomly filled in the leaves. Now these tropical leaves come with the new landscape scene, which also has a sun, and there's two of the leaves here, two clouds, and as always, if I cut extra of something, I keep them in the package to use on other projects. And then there's a tree. Now these clouds, if you cut them out of green, they build up your safari tree, which is kind of, so it's double the money on these. So those are the leaves, and I cut them out of pattern paper. As you can see here, I liked the difference in colors that you get when you use the pattern paper, and I did ink blending with my iCrafter blending brushes, which are brushes, they are not foam daubers. So the Happy Birthday is not part of the new release, nor is the oval crosshatch ovals, but because I have them, I like combining. I actually, when there's a new release, I know some of the team, they go shopping and they buy all kinds of new stuff to relate to the new release. I have so much fun going through my stash and finding things that I have that will work with the new release. So I don't tend to go shopping for new stuff when there's a new release. I love looking through my stash in my craft room and seeing what will work together. And I also love showing you that you can use old dyes with new dyes. Sometimes new dyes will breathe new life into the older stuff you have in your stash. So that's how I did the front. Now here is the fun new one also. It is the flip frame pop-up. How cute is that? Now you might hear it rubbing. That is intentional. It is this edge of the card right here that pushes it closed. So the flipped frame pop-up comes with this darling frame. There's lots of layering pieces. There's flowers, some ground, which I've used. That's the mechanism. There's lots in this, and this is a really fun new die set by Karen Burniston. And on a different project, I used flowers, or die cut the flowers, and I add the extras into the package to use on another project. So again, you see the leaves that I've used, same ones that I used on the front. Now this card, I can't even tell you how long this card took me, because I had in my mind that I wanted kind of a gatefold with the palm tree pop-up on one side and the flip frame on the other, because if you reverse the folds, you can have the flip frame on the other side. I am not one to throw a card out. If I start on it, I can usually make it work, but the physics on this one, it was just not to be. So after 3 went in the garbage, I decided let's just make a slimline and use the flip frame pop-up the way it's supposed to be used. But of course on one of them I had a palm tree that I hadn't yet ripped up. So I added it here, and I actually quite like the dimension that the palm tree pop-up gives. I only secured it on the very back, and then I tucked the end under this. Now you do have to leave this area free for that frame to slide along, but you can certainly write there, so that's where we will put our messages. Now I used an older die set here again, combining old and new, the same with the palm tree pop-up. But the hippo, the elephant, and the giraffe are part of her new safari animals. Oh my gosh, are they not cute? So this is a really fun addition to all of the other little animals that are in the Karen Burniston collection. So I had fun with these. Again, they were cut out of white cardstock only, and I did all of my coloring with the iCrafter blending brushes. Go Wild is also one of the new dies being released, and I will have all that information below as to when the dies will be shipping. So I added the Go Wild, I added the older Celebrate, and a few more leaves to my frame. You can see it folds fairly flat. I did use some foam tape, but it still folds flat and will mail. It's not that heavy. It will mail for a single stamp. And my stamp from Riley & Company that goes on the back of my cards. So this was a really fun card to make. Once I gave up on trying to do the gatefold, I really enjoyed making it, and I'm looking forward to showing you more of the new release coming up this week and next. If you enjoyed my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my interactive cards. And that is it for me today.